Ever trusted a friend so deeply, only to discover that trust was the sharpest blade? In the bustling agora of Athens, Dorian walked with pride, praised for wisdom and courage. His laughter filled the air, his presence drawing admirers like moths to flame. Callias, childhood companion, shadowed his steps, smiling as if loyalty itself breathed. Yet among the crowd stood Lycaon, rival strategist, feared, envied, yet undeniably skilled. Dorian dismissed Lycaon, for old grudges burn longer than wisdom dares admit. Instead, Dorian clung to Callias, blind to the hunger lurking behind a friend's eyes. Praise rained upon him, yet each word sharpened envy in places he could not see. The gods themselves seemed to bless him, but fate sharpens envy more than favor. And Dorian's trust, pure as bronze, would soon melt under fire. Callias smiled with warmth, drinking deeply of Dorian's wine and kindness. Yet envy grew, slow and venomous, hidden beneath gestures of loyalty. Another figure, Lycaon, Dorian's rival, faced him with open scorn in public. Dorian dismissed Lycaon, scorning him, believing enemies unworthy of trust. He leaned instead on Callias, blind to the hunger brewing behind his smile. Callias praised loudly, whispering softly, weaving himself into Dorian's trust. The rival's hatred was plain, yet the friend's envy went unseen. Athens itself watched, torn between rivalry and the warmth of friendship. But history teaches that daggers hidden in smiles cut deepest. And soon, Dorian would learn this truth, carved into fate itself. War drums thundered, Bata threatened Athens. Dorian was called to lead. The polis gathered, voices chanting his name, hailing him as their champion. At his side stood Callias, smiling, drinking in Dorian's trust and glory. Dorian raised his friend as counselor, handing him command of provisions. Soldiers murmured of Lycaon, the rival strategist, fierce though mistrusted. Yet Dorian pushed Lycaon aside, placing faith only in Callias's loyalty. The army marched with cheers, banners rising like a sea of fire and bronze. Dorian's pride swelled. He believed no foe could conquer while friends stood near. He thought loyalty his armor, trust his spear, friendship his shield. But armor forged of trust cracks under the hammer of envy. The battle began, spears clashing, shields thundering, Athens roaring in defiance. Dorian fought with valor, bronze glinting, his men driving Spartans to retreat. Yet, when he called for supplies, silence answered, wagons standing empty. Confusion spread, soldiers whispered, their strength waning, their courage shaken. Eyes turned to Callias, keeper of provisions, absent from the lines of war. Dorian's triumph faltered, his heart pounding with dread and disbelief. Around him, the clash slowed, replaced by murmurs of fear and betrayal. A shadow, deeper than spears, fell across him as silence cut the air. For in war, betrayal strikes swifter than arrows from a hidden bow. Dorian felt the silence, heavier than steel. The Spartan counterattack surged. Wagons of supplies had been abandoned. Dorian turned, seeing Callias on a hill, watching, untouched by the storm. His friend's eyes burned not with fear, but with envy long concealed. Betrayal was no longer hidden. It stood proud, unveiled before all men. Soldiers cried out, starving and broken, their faith in Dorian shattered. And from the smoke came Lycaon, the rival once spurned and scorned. He rallied men, filling the gap Callias left, holding the line with fury. In that moment, the enemy proved ally, and the friend revealed as foe. Dorian's heart sank, pride collapsing beneath the weight of cruel truth. For the crown he trusted to friendship now burned with betrayal. The Athenians limped home, bloodied and broken, their glory drowned in defeat. Whispers spread through the agora. Dorian's trust had doomed the army. Alias vanished, his betrayal etched into silence, his envy fulfilled. Dorian, once hailed, now bore the shame of blind trust upon his shoulders. Lakon, once rival, returned honored, his loyalty forged in fire. The polis looked on him with pity, some with scorn, none with faith. His name, once sung, now echoed in the marketplace as warning. Alone in his hall, he replayed smiles that had masked daggers. His throne of trust had crumbled, leaving only dust and regret. And the shadow of betrayal lingered, heavier than defeat. In exile, Dorian replayed the battle, the trust, the smile that hid betrayal. Friends, he learned, strike deeper than foes, for trust makes the wound sharper. Enemies, bound by rivalry, reveal their blades openly, never cloaked in deceit. Callias's envy had grown unchecked, fed by Dorian's blind loyalty. Yet Lakon, the rival, had stood firm, saving men when friendship failed. A lesson carved itself in stone. Trust is fragile, dangerous when misplaced. Use enemies wisely, for their ambition can serve as shield and measure. Friends may drink your wine, but envy sours even the sweetest cup. Power rests not on affection, but on balance, caution, and foresight. And Dorian, broken yet wiser, bowed to that cruel law of survival. Who do you fear more, the enemy with a spear, or the friend with a smile? Dorian learned the truth carved deeper than any blade on the battlefield. Trust in friends blinded him, while respect for enemies could have saved him. Betrayal came not from the foe's ranks, but from the hand he once held. The polis mourned, yet whispered. He crowned envy with his own trust. Enemies may oppose, but their intentions are clear as steel. Friends may disguise ambition, striking only when shadows grow thick. The law endures. Weigh loyalty with caution and never blind your eyes. For power is not built on friendship, but on measured alliances. Second law, never trust friends too much. Learn to use enemies.